So hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Here we are, MD3 and I, talking to a few different folks about a few different things. One thing that we talked about last week is that we were going to talk a little bit about PPE. And let me tell you, today we have two great people on the line. MD3, who all of you already know, is an architect, he's a general contractor, he's a broker, he's able to do a house from A to Z, and has all the licenses for it and the experience. And as you well know, he's built and designed and done the architecture for theme parks, as well as houses, as well as garage conversions and all that. But today we happen to have an individual that it's a pleasure for me to introduce him to you. He's been in the staffing and in the risk benefit for the commercial business owners for a long time, and he's a friend of mine. His name is Mr. Robinson Yang. Hello, Rob. How are you?
Hi, Andre. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet everybody.
Very good. So MD3 and I have been having these weekly conversations, and what has come up, as you and I have talked earlier in the week in different meetings, Rob, is about PPP and the necessity to be able to do it right once, and being able to either do it and not do it, have the right reasoning as to why. And I was just talking to MD3 offline, and 2 days ago I was with the CPA for most of the day, and for CPAs it's kind of hard to really get involved with the PPP because they're used to getting paid by the hour like an attorney, and so it's hard for people to find for business owners to find a good source to give them some guidance as to this, which is, something that will happen only once. And as you always say, Rob, opportunity, it comes from chaos. And we certainly, with these epidemic times, we're in chaos. So I wanted to get a little bit of your input. If this is our audience is business owners, just so you know, MD3 has a huge world around LinkedIn. He has over 15,000 people in LinkedIn. I have over 15,000 people. And the thing is that our worlds don't connect. We don't have many mutual friends. So you're talking to a large audience, as this is obviously going on in LinkedIn and other social media. So tell us, what do you suggest if you're a business owner when it comes to PPP?
First of all, thank you, Andre, for allowing me to be on this Zoom meeting. I apologize that I'm having to do it from my car. I just had a meeting right now with one of the mayors from one of the larger cities in Southeast Los Angeles. And his same concern was the PPP and his actual businesses that are in the city. And one of our main focuses that I wanted to talk to him, or I actually talked to him about, was, I'm first and foremost, I'm a staffing agency. Okay, we're considered a large employer. So we don't have all the tools to qualify you for a PPP. We're not a bank. We're not even a financial institute. What we are is we have the actual tool to make sure that you're in compliance with the PPP. We have the actual tool that will help you obtain the PPP, because let's define what PPP is. PPP is Payroll Protection Program, okay? And being a large employer, I've been able to actually provide the paperwork for my clients that they need to get the PPP. I have been able to provide the paperwork for my clients to be able to pass the audit at the end of the year, to have the forgiveness applied for them. Because at the end of the day, the IRS, the government, the bank, they're all looking for how your payroll records are being kept and how the money's allocated. And you have to make sure it's for payroll, obviously. And by utilizing our company, we have a nice tight package that we use for these institutions, for these government officials, and for the IRS. So yes, I am not a financial institute, but I will tell you, every single one of my customers got a PPP, and so far, every single one of them has had their loan forgiven. So yes, we are here to help. We are here to make life easier for you when you get the PPP, or if you're considering the PPP. But at the same token, it's a lot easier to have somebody on your side than trying to challenge this by yourself.
Right.
Agreed. It's
So-
foreign to most people too. It's just a new program, new rollout, what the requirements are. If you can bring an expert like yourself into the game, you're golden.
Yes, yes, it is. And you know, I put it to you like this. You know, we have the large corporations, the Targets, the Walmarts, the Costco's. You know, these are CEOs of large payroll, large employers of large employees. And their biggest challenge has been, you know, how do I use if they got a PPP, how do I use this PPP appropriately? But on the same token, let's not forget what the PPP is for. It's because of this pandemic we're in. We're in a pandemic, guys. We all know that, okay? And in order for us to continue to see this PPP continue, is we're gonna have to stay in this pandemic. And we all know that this pandemic is not going away right away. So here we are in the second round of the PPP. Is it accurate to say that there might be a third, a fourth, or a fifth one coming down the road? It's highly likely. I don't have a crystal ball, but I would have to say that there's a good possibility that this is going to happen again.
Yeah, and in touching up on one of the things that we were talking earlier this week, you and I, Rob, is you were saying how this is a time that will never happen again. It happens every 100 years or so. That's when we had the last situation like this epidemic of epidemic proportions like right now. So this is a sort of an opportunity that won't come back, and it's a way to maintain your business afloat, right?
That is correct. 100 years ago, we didn't have obviously a PPP. We didn't have we just didn't have the medical technology we have now. So the fact is that we didn't have the ability to help a lot of these businesses back then. Now we do. Now we have a lot of resources, a lot of things that we can utilize right now. There's grants, there's county grants, there's state grants, there's SBA disaster loans, there's obviously the PPP, but every single one of these people want to know, how are you appropriating those funds? Are you appropriating it towards payroll, which is the number one thing that they're looking at? Are you appropriating it towards helping you with the disaster that you suffered because of COVID? Okay, and all of these people all these government organizations, financial institutes, they all want to see records that can basically show where every dollar has been spent.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you do in your staffing company, your staffing agency, different than most, is that you do COVID testing when they interview or right before they're going to go to the job. How does that work?
Yes. So we're one of the few staffing agencies who are contract with a company called BioLab. BioLab is one of the it's a worldwide company who's the largest COVID testing facility in the world. What we've done is before an employee is placed at a job, they are tested. They are tested with COVID. They take a COVID test. Once this COVID test is taken, they are allowed to apply for a job. Once the job is accepted, we place them at the job. Once they're placed at the job, what we do is we'll continue to test them once a week. So yes, we do. COVID testing has been really a lifesaver for a lot of our employees, a lot of our clients. In addition to that, what we do is we do what we call A and B shifts. We'll have a group of employees doing working on an A shift, meaning they're working on one site of the warehouse, where the other B employees are working on a different part of the warehouse, and then we'll switch midday so that you don't have the same people around each other throughout the whole day, and that just mitigates the risk. As far as if somebody contracts COVID in A, we can take A, send everybody home, but you still have B shift that can still work and keep the employer still in business. So yes, we've been very proactive with COVID. We've done a lot of things that are holistic in our approach, but they've been effective, and they've helped a lot of our employers stay in business. But in addition to that, stay COVID free.
Right. And so you were mentioning earlier that you, out of all you have a lot of different companies that are your clients, and you've had for many years and decades. Now, the ones that apply for PPP for the loan, you were able to assist them getting it, not only getting it, but qualifying, and then later on having the forgiveness. When you have been forgiven the loan, the first loan, can you still apply for the second one?
Good question.
That's a great question, and that's so it really, I don't have all the rules and regulations, because I am not. I don't, I don't have I didn't write the laws for the PPP, but I will tell you what my customers have been doing. They have been applying for the second round because of the ease that they've experienced working with me to get the loan from the first round. Okay. But the second round, we know is not a forgiveness, it's a loan.
Right.
So I think a lot of people have, hesitated or actually waited to apply for that.
Right.
But again, let's take this back. Let's take it back a step. It's the information that you have to send over is about your payroll. It's called the Payroll Protection Program.
Right.
And you have to have your payroll records nice, neat, and tidy when you send it to the bank. Okay. And that's the key. That's the key of getting the PPP loan.
Right. Nice, neat, and tidy.
I've got a question, Rob.
Yes. Sure.
You're talking about corporations and companies, even small businesses that have lots of employees. What about sole proprietors, independent contractors? Can we benefit from this program as well?
That's a great question. And, I can't give you a yes or no answer, but I can tell you that I've seen sole proprietors who have one employee. I have a local restaurant that I go to once a week, used to go to once a week, and he had 2 people working for him. COVID obviously changed the whole thing for him. He lost his 2 employees because he couldn't pay for it. But once he got the PPP loan, he was able to hire them back.
Great.
Because now he's doing more takeout than anything. So yes, sole proprietors have been eligible for this from what I've seen. But I think every case is different as far as what what type of disaster COVID caused for their business.
Got it.
Good. Well, I appreciate your time, Rob. I know that, and I appreciate you having you as a resource for us. And I'm sure that in MD3's network, as well as mine, there'll be plenty of questions which I can redirect to you. I appreciate your time. I know that you're in between meetings today. Go on a Friday, man. So thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you next week as usual.
Thank you, Andre. Thank you for having me on here. Thank you, MD3. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So now you heard it from Robinson. Robinson's been in the business for decades, and he's a large employer, right? So you and I look at this from the side of the entrepreneur. We look at it like, okay, well, this is a loan, and you think of it like a bank, right? Like I'm gonna go get a loan from a bank, so therefore I have to have all these things. The difference of knowing somebody that knows the process, and not only knows the process from a small company point of view, but large companies, because he has all types, and he also has all types when it comes to industries, right? So he knows how the process works for the PPP, which is the Payroll Protection Program. And it is different from talking to him now for a few weeks regarding these topics. It's different than qualifying for a bank loan. So that's the first thing, right? Like, I think that, is there any takeaways? One, you got to realize this is a different bureaucracy, a different process. And surprisingly enough, I don't know how long ago did the second PPP loan program went out, but he already has some of his clients that have qualified, and they already got the check. Right? And most are barely thinking about it. So I would say that's the second thing. Be proactive.
I also heard him be tight, make sure you got all your documents, you're dealing with a huge bureaucracy, the federal government, and they want to make sure that you got all your ducks in a row and you're not cutting corners. And hopefully this is preventing fraud, which we've seen in other government programs. So, you know, if you are shooting straight and you are legitimately been affected by COVID and it's really affecting your ability to do your business, such as myself, I think it's harder for me to kind of explain, you know, why I'm not performing at 100% capacity, but at least the program is out there, which I think is great. And I hope that the government on both sides of the aisle will finally agree and make this a very effective program. You know, my political views as an independent, moderate, conservative person, I don't want to deal with the government at all at any time as a libertarian, but I've been paying taxes for half a century now. I want some of that money back. So
this is the
time when I'm hurting and my family's hurting, it's time for us to get taken care of. So that's why I'm looking.
I think that is also that's maybe the third thing that most entrepreneurs deal with, which is, man, do I want a handout, right? And they don't look at it as a handout, and that's it's just inert. And entrepreneurs, because we have to be independent thinking people, resourceful people, right? And that to receive aid or help from the government, it goes against what our even ethics can be at the time. So so it is a difficult process to do. But what I'm trying to for those of you that are watching, that I'm trying to instill in you is, if you're gonna do it now. It's first come, first serve. On the second round, it is a little different, where the big public companies cannot qualify. It's just more meant for the medium to small guy. And
I'm glad to hear that. I was glad to hear that it's not for the big boys, because that, you know, major corporations with all their attorneys and staff really took advantage of the first round, and it's really sad, bad.
Because they know the way to do it, right?
And they got all these people on their staff and liaisons and lobbyists that know how to grease the wheels and know how the system works. And us small guys don't have staff or ideas like that. We focus on doing what we do.
In some instances, those guys actually set up the game, so they know what they're building, right? So, you know, it's different. And I just, people just go out there, get it, you know, reach out to us. We can help you, put you with the right people that can tell you the truth, that have experience in this. And like Robinson said earlier, it's only 100, every 100 years or so that something like this happens. And these loans are out there for a reason, because people need it, because we're in a bad spot, and we need to make sure that the economy stays going, it doesn't sputter. I've been hearing this word sputter a lot. Have you? Everything's like, be careful, because then the economy is going to sputter. I think it's sputtering already.
Well, I think that's what we need to emphasize, myself and you know, the Andre and MD3 team, we are here as a resource. We have lots of contacts. We are not the experts at everything. That's what we'll always claim. And this is yet another topic we are not, but we know the experts, and we do connect the dots. And we do. We both have personality types that like to engage with people and have a lot of friends and benefit others. And that's why we were here. So reach out to both of us, and we'll help you connect the dots. And we won't be your legal counsel, but we will connect the dots with somebody that is smarter than us.
Absolutely. Surround yourself with people smarter than you, and we have the networks to do it. One last thing, if you are interested, we can provide you a PDF of the CDC NFL COVID-19 report. It's very insightful. It tells you a lot about distancing, especially when you have employees, how to keep them in a distance. That's why the NFL was able to complete a whole season, whereas the other organized sports leagues had a lot harder time. So look forward for the Super Bowl. And if you're interested, we'll send you this for free. All you have to do is reach out to one of us, and we'll send you the PDF.
And a little plug for myself. And 6 hours from now, we're live here on February 5th at 1:30. We're recording this. In only 6 hours, I'll be doing my presentation via Zoom, and that is going to be on the topic of how to build a house. And it's just the basic guidelines. It's not for architects, contractors. It's for average Joes that want to know about the process of how you make decisions in building and design. and how you connect to professionals like myself and getting that process done. So by the time this got out, the presentation will be over, but this is just a interlude, a introduction of the 18 different presentations, all having to do with design, construction, architecture, and real estate development that I am going to be rolling out in the future as a business model. So wait and see for that. We'll be talking about that in the future at another event, another podcast. But thanks for having me once again, Andrew. Great seeing you.
All right, brother. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Okay. Cheers. Spot on.
Bye. Pura vida.